Genes are like instruction manuals inside every living thing, guiding the development and functioning of all organisms. They tell our bodies how to grow, develop, and what traits to have, from the moment we are conceived to the day we die. From the color of our eyes to the shape of our noses, genes decide it all. They even influence our height, skin tone, and many other characteristics. Think of genes as recipes, each one providing a set of instructions for making a part of us. Each gene carries instructions for a specific trait, like a recipe for a particular dish. Just like a recipe for a cake might have instructions for chocolate or vanilla flavor, a gene might have instructions for brown or blue eyes or other variations. These different versions of a gene are called alleles, and they can lead to different traits. We get one allele from our mother and one from our father for each gene, creating a unique combination. These alleles interact with each other to determine what we see, like the color of our eyes or the texture of our hair. Sometimes, one allele is dominant, meaning it overshadows the other, recessive allele, which can still be passed on to future generations. Gregor Mendel, a 19th century monk, is famous for his work with pea plants. He used them to study how traits are passed down from one generation to the next. Mendel noticed that pea plants had different traits. Some had purple flowers, while others had white flowers. Some had round seeds, while others had wrinkled seeds. He decided to experiment by crossbreeding different pea plants. He wanted to see what would happen to these traits over multiple generations. Mendel carefully controlled which plants pollinated each other. He tracked the traits of the parent plants and their offspring. Let's focus on two important traits, pea color and pea shape. These traits were crucial in Mendel's experiments. Mendel started with 2 purebred pea plants for each trait, ensuring that each plant was genetically uniform. One plant had only genes for yellow peas, and the other had only genes for green peas. This distinction was vital for his observations. Similarly, he had one plant with genes for only round peas, and another with genes for only wrinkled peas. These purebred plants were the foundation of his study. When he crossed the purebred yellow and green pea plants, all the offspring in the first generation had yellow peas. This was a surprising result. This is because the yellow allele is dominant over the green allele. Dominance plays a key role in inheritance. But what happened to the genetic information for green peas? It seemed to disappear. It was still there, hiding. The green trait was masked by the dominant yellow trait. We'll see how it reappears later. The hidden traits can resurface in future generations. Mendel observed the same pattern when he crossed the purebred round and wrinkled pea plants. The results were consistent. All the first-generation offspring had round peas because the round allele is dominant over the wrinkled allele. Dominance was a recurring theme in his findings. The real excitement began when Mendel crossed the first-generation plants. This was a pivotal moment in the history of genetics. Remember, these plants carried the recessive alleles for both green pea color and wrinkled pea shape, even though they weren't visible. These hidden traits were like secrets waiting to be discovered. When 2 first-generation plants were crossed, something amazing happened. The hidden traits reappeared. It was as if the plants were revealing their secrets. Mendel found that in the second generation, about 9 out of 16 of the plants had yellow and round peas, which was the dominant trait. 3 out of 16 had yellow and wrinkled peas, showing a mix of dominant and recessive traits. 3 out of 16 had green and round peas, another interesting combination of traits, and only 1 out of 16 had green and wrinkled peas, the fully recessive combination. This 9:3 to 3:1 ratio, called the phenotypic ratio, became a cornerstone of genetics. It was a groundbreaking discovery. It explains how traits are inherited when 2 genes are involved, providing a deeper understanding of genetic inheritance. This ratio shows that even though some alleles might be hidden, they can still be passed on to future generations. This insight laid the foundation for modern genetics.